Burns now with a cross. This is Vernon! Vernon scores! Grimsby turned his head back! Utter delirium at Blundell Park! Charles Vernon! What a delivered flat post! Touchdown!
Penalty, great composure! Brian Mbeumo, he doesn't miss, does he?
The customary short run up for Brian Mbeumo. Stuttering run up, and hits the crossbar! Manchester United are out! Brian Mbeumo has rattled the crossbar!
This is TNT Sports, Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
David, welcome to Three Fish on the Shirt, and thank you for welcoming us to your domain. How are you doing? It's been not long. It seems flown since the end of the season, and now we're sort of looking ahead to the new season. How's the summer been for you? And how are you doing?
All right. It's a different. The work doesn't stop. You know, I said the other day to someone, you know, have you had some good rest? You don't rest. You just work, you know. The truth is, the last week I worked for 3 days, you know, whilst watching the cricket, which is nice because I don't do that in the season. You know what I mean? So in between phone calls, in between doing work, you can actually see an England batsman get out or punch someone. I mean, get out.
It's a momentous day for the club today with the Three Fish on the Shirt first visit to Cheapside, but also the Kings coming as well. How's that feel today? And will you get a chance to meet the King?
Yeah. Apparently, I'll have an opportunity. I'll be welcoming him with Andrew and Polly to the football club and showing him hopefully what we've done as a football club, but also as a wider community. You know, I think the growth of the area, you know, when I first walked in, you know, to the football club, I could see the potential of the whole area, the football club, the area, based on the people. It's always about the people. And hopefully the King will get, you know, the opportunity to see that. I'm sure he will. And we'll do our little bit to show the football club as one of the sort of, well, I think, if truth be told, maybe I'm a bit biased, it's probably the epicenter of the whole thing. I'm sure the green energy movement will also say them as well, and that's fine, and I agree with that as well, I suppose. But yeah, I think we are a modern day cultural church, as other football clubs are, and you know, I think that's been shown with rising attendances, rising season ticket sales, and the days that we've all enjoyed at BP and further afield, you know, in the last 2, 3, 4 years.
Yeah, definitely, we've had some fantastic times, and like I say, we've made progress over the last couple of seasons. Just missed out the previous season on the playoffs. Got into the playoffs this year, had a hugely exciting playoff semi final, which we didn't quite get over the line against Salford. How's everybody picked up after that? How was the aftermath?
Yeah, well, we obviously played on the Friday night, and then we was in Monday morning, and obviously everyone was still devastated. Simple as that. But that's football, and I don't want to sound blasé about it or diminishing it anyway. We've been on the opposite end of last minute winners, maybe not to that magnitude, but certainly this football club has in playoff campaigns, and it happens. It happens. So look, we'll dust ourselves down. We've got a long time to get over it, and I'm sure the lads will come back in raring to go.
How difficult is it on the Monday morning when you've got no match then to prepare on for, to pick things up, because it's an unusual one, isn't it, that you've got that one-off game and then the season's finished?
Yeah, well,
what's that like?
It was a difficult day because it was the return release day, and you're giving
Right together, yeah.
You're giving quite a few players bad news as well. So it wasn't a particularly pleasant 2 or 3 days, that one, for myself and any of the players that believe in the football club. It's not the first time we've lost a game of football. You know, it's not something that we'd become accustomed to last season, and hopefully it won't be something that we become accustomed to next season. So it's part of the game. You've got to go and lick your own wounds, if you like, without your mates around you, because they haven't seen each other for a while, although they've been to weddings and I'm sure they've caught up with each other outside of it, playing golf or whatever. There's more than one way to, you know, you can sort of go back home and play with your kids or talk to your wife or partner, girlfriend, whatever it is, and deal with it yourself. That's the honest answer. But all in the knowledge, knowing that if they are struggling at any point, then they'll give me a ring and we'll help them. We all know it was devastating, but that can happen. And we can't dwell on it. We certainly can't look back on it. Much like we can't look at the Man United game and use that as a yardstick either. It's a point in our season. Last season, Salford was a point in our season. Neither are going to determine what we do next season. That's the truth.
But everybody's okay, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of that Monday, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's a chance to decompress.
Yeah. It was, like I say, it wasn't a particularly nice day.
Yeah.
Them days aren't nice, certainly off the back of such a devastating defeat. But that's professional sport for you.
Yeah.
Nobody said it's an easy ride. Nobody said it's going to be straightforward. And we've got to still show leadership, humility, grace, all them things, but an absolute unbelievable desire to get better.
Yeah, and that's, you know, as fans, that's, you know, what we can hope for, I guess, is that you're striving for that. I think one thing that we've found from doing the podcast is that you see the human side of footballers, and you see more than just, as fans, you normally just see that concentrated bit on the pitch, and you know, it's nice to see that other side and understand how that builds. The
humans first.
Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah.
We've all got a heart and a brain and, you know, 2 arms and legs and all that. You have to deal with that bit first. If you don't, they're not very good at football. Yeah.
We've heard about the release list and the like. As you say, that's a difficult time. We'll hear about a lot of the detail that in other outlets. But just worth mentioning Ev, who's moved on, having turned down a contract, I believe. How was that? How'd that come about?
Yeah, look, he's decided to play his trade elsewhere, and I wish him nothing but the best. Great kid, like a great kid. And I think, I hope, I haven't actually asked him this, but I hope he'll see his time here as extremely successful. And giving him a platform to hopefully go on and having a really successful and stellar career, and a long one. And I think that's when people move on with that, if you like, as their time at this football club. That's what can only be a positive. It can only be a positive for both. We've given a young lad an opportunity, and he's done well. And the lad himself goes, that football club gave me an opportunity. Yeah. And I've taken it. Well, that seems to me to be a win-win. And, you know, I wish him nothing but the best. So whatever he rocks up next year and the day it's announced, I'll give him a little bell and I'll wish him all the best and remind him that if he ever needs anything, I'll be here for him.
Yeah, and in terms of the P word, he's one player that we've seen from a young lad come in his first game. I think it's going back a bit now. It's in Paul Hurst's time.
Yeah.
but we've seen him come on leaps and bounds, and that's something that's, you know, it's nice for this club to have taken somebody as a young lad and seen him progress. So yeah, it's sad to see when that happens, but as you said before, it's the industry, isn't it? It's football.
It is. I think any player that left us this summer, I don't go on social media, so I don't know I don't know if the fans' sentiment is the same as mine. I hope it is, but I think everyone who left this summer has played a part, and go with our best wishes. There should be no ill feeling towards anyone. Even the ones that we'd offered contracts to, and because they've played their part, they've all done their bit, and like we just said, they're humans, they're good people. So, you know, if they weren't nice people or good people or didn't work hard, then maybe I won't be bothered if they get a stick. Yeah. But they're all good people, and they're all good blokes, and they all work hard, and I'm sure that'll stand them in extremely good stead going forward in their careers. Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong at all. I think the sentiment's pretty good around people. I think it's particularly sad that Jason, you know, availability was his issue this season, wasn't it? And it's just not really happened. And that's something that I know you said previously in the middle of your sort of tenure here so far, that availability is a big sort of factor for you for looking for players now.
Your best ability is your availability. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
If we had, you know, double our budget, it wouldn't matter as much, but we haven't, and it's a big thing, unfortunately for Jason. Extremely tough decision. I think it made every single member of staff sad to have to give him the news, because he's just such a likeable bloke, like a fantastic bloke. We couldn't have done a better job of picking a better character for our sort of first foray into the foreign market, because he's just an absolute diamond of a bloke. He couldn't get better. So he goes with our best wishes, like the rest of them do.
So foreign market's not out of the question for future options then?
No, it's becoming extremely more difficult because the FA are getting into bed with the Premier League, but that's becoming more difficult for work permit purposes. But then, you know, they think that we're hoarding foreigners when it's, you know, they've obviously turned a blind eye to the Premier League hoarding foreigners, but well, I don't want to get political.
It's difficult, isn't it, when you see the varying standards applied to different things. Looking at recent punishments, which we'll not go into, to other clubs at the back end of last season. Finally, then, summer plans going to. We don't want to go into detail that you can't share, but summer plans going okay in terms of reshaping the squad.
Yes, yes, we've got a few things lined up. A couple over the line, a few things that we feel close to, but until it's signed and sealed, you never know. Lots of discussions with lots of players and agents. We're always confident. I think we have genuinely got better every window, literally every window.
Do you think we've got the improvement as a destination for players, as in over the time you've been here, that we've improved it? We always talked about, and I think you were quite keen to shut it down pretty quickly, that this was a bit of a dour destination for a footballer, and you can really upsell it. And do you think we've managed that?
Well, if I asked you, why do you live in Grimsby? Yeah. You wouldn't live here if it weren't very nice, would you?
No, exactly.
Yeah. People do live here. It's not Chernobyl. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Some people don't believe it was. Yeah.
But you know, it's like I go, well, from a footballing point of view, or footballer's point of view, I go, right, it's got no traffic, or very, very little traffic, certainly compared to the big cities. It's got lots of green spaces. It's got a lovely beach. It's a football club that'll help you get better. It's going to give you opportunities. You've not got the biggest squad. You know, you're gonna play games. You know, you've got an environment that's fantastic. You've got an ambitious football club that wants to get better. We're going to be near the top of the league as opposed to bottom of the league. Yeah. Well, when you add all them things in, not every football club can say that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yes, I don't know, Burton Albion to pick a random football club, it'll be able to say that they're it's special in their own way, and they'll be right because it's them. But all what I've just said about Grimsby is true.
Yeah.
There's lots of green, you could go in the walls, lots of green spaces.
I think that's one thing about Grimsby a lot of people don't realise is how rural it is very quickly.
Yeah, and it's like you can do all that, so as well as the football stuff, so I just think you've got a great opportunity to further your career and express yourself in nice surroundings, in a nice environment, and we're getting a Nando's. Not for me, just for a selling point.
Talking of rural, Rossi's got some question for you.
Yeah, with record levels of season ticket sales, obviously for the club, and a real positive feel around town fans. Do you have to amplify that to the players and say, obviously, so many people are coming to watch you now? Is it more pressure on them, or do you feel it's just another day, another season?
No, pressure's for tyres, barometers. What pressure's for? The players themselves will put themselves under enough pressure in professional sport that there is enough pressure. Without me saying, just remember, we've got record season ticket sales. They don't need that to hear that from me. One thing that they are acutely aware of is the support, full stop, home and particularly away. Because when they walk out at Gillingham and there's 800 of them, when they walk out at Cambridge 3 days later and it's sold out, that doesn't go unnoticed. It doesn't. Our home form last year, I think we had the 5th best home form, was it, I think? Which is 4 places from where we need to be. And I know some people will still moan, but that's football. And we accept that. But we're trying to, my job is to make people proud of this football club, of this area. Let's be honest, that's why the Kings come in, to see this. We've got 4 more places at home to get. I think we had something like the 6th best away record or something, and we've got 5 places away to improve on as well. And that's the aim. The players are acutely aware how brilliant the fans are. We all are, because they are. And I've never experienced a noise like the Man United game, and I've played in front of significantly bigger numbers in terms of attendances. I've been in grounds that's had 90,000 in them and such like, in European Cup finals and all that kind of carry on. I've never heard a noise like that, and that's because of the fans.
If it's the away fans as well, like I say, the home fans is ridiculous anyway, but away fans might be trouble. I mean, now we've got more season tickets, maybe we'll get more away fans now going.
Yeah, look, I think what we've got to do is we've got to make sure, and I think, to be honest, after Christmas, I think it did sort of end up like this. We've got to make sure that all the different singing sections of the crowd are as one, and I appreciate that's not easy, because you've got the young kids in the far corner, then you've got in the opposite lower, and then you've got some sort of dotted around elsewhere, and the upper will sing. You've got to make sure we're all in unison. I know it's not easy, because that does happen away because they're all in one spot, and it does make a difference. So I know that might seem nitpicking, but again, my job is to make things better, make people better, make footballers better, and trying to improve their performance means everyone's singing as one. It'll help. I don't want people to think I'm preaching to fans and all that kind of carry on. So that's not. But you get my point. And I think towards the back end of last season, last third, maybe last half of last season, I think the fans were right behind the lads. We went 1-0 down at home against someone. I can't remember who it was. Who was it? I can't remember. And the fans were singing, and I'm like, "This is good. This, the lads will pick up on this. It helps. It's right when they need him. The fans went, we're stepping up," and I thought, that's really good, like really good, because it makes a difference. It makes a difference.
And as a group, I think the fans have got more self-critical as well about, well, we were a bit flat today, and I think, but that's something new as well.
Well, I just think to myself, we can all improve. I was talking to Matt Dean a second ago, talking about Judson Bell, thinking, I could quietly sit here and talk about Jude this and Jude that, and be unfair. It's like, what did I not do well for him? I didn't do that very well. I didn't get this out of him enough. You know, and you pick up things like that, and you sort of, when you think about it, you reflect. That's not a weakness. That's not a criticism. That makes, I hope, me better. And if the fans can then go, actually, we're a bit fat today. Like, what do we need to do here? And then action it for the next game or next time. That, let's be honest, if we play Accrington on Tuesday night, there's not going to be 7,000 in the ground, because it'll be on whatever it is, red button or whatever it is. Accrington will bring 80, 100, 200, whatever the number is. And most of the lads who live away, and the season ticket holders that live away, might not get there for work purposes. So it's like, right, what can we do as fans? Because you've got to sing for 2.5 people that night, because there's only 4,500 rather than 8 or 9. And it's like, come on. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
I'm sure as fans you can get your heads together over a pint. But you can't you? You know.
Should we say a pint?
but you know what I mean? It's like, because we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like this preaching know-it-all, because I don't know it all. No. But we all can do more. And if that's the power of the people around here. I've found them to be really humble, really hard-working, and want the best for everyone in the football club. And if we do that, then we're going to achieve some great things and have some great times.
I'm sure you'll agree with this. We don't always get it right as fans either.
No, you don't. But then that's human, and we accept that.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, you've had people apologise to you, haven't you, and come and say, I gave you a balling out on Saturday, and I've been down here, haven't they, and said,
Yeah. But then that doesn't. That's understandable. I don't mean apology, but I get it. It's emotion.
Yeah.
It's emotion. We care. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I'd rather they didn't, but I get it. I get it. They just, like, don't have a go at me. It's just shout support for the lads. Yeah. That's it.
I think so. We're quite self-critical now as well as a group. From what we can see, you're quite a scholar of sort of leadership and coaching stuff. What materials or what speakers have influenced you most? What sort of memorable ones have you?
I think I'll never forget a fella who I heard speak called Jed Salzano, and he was about 5'7". He was he'd been in the SBS, the Special Boat Service, and he was obviously a commando, what he was, and he was one of the leaders, and I don't know what the rank was, I can't remember. And he'd sort of transitioned out of the army, out of the navy, sorry, and into leadership and culture and all this. And he held the room that he was talking to. You could hear a pin drop. He was like unbelievable. Quite, like I say, quite diminutive. Wasn't like big and imposing that you'd always expect. But he spoke with clarity and just like absolute precision. And some of the stuff he said that day was like, wow, he makes a mistake, people die.
Yeah.
I make a mistake, the opposition score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's levels here.
Yeah.
Perspective, and you're going, ooh, that's some responsibility, that. And some of the things he said on that day was like, fantastic. And I've sat in plenty of places and heard lots of people speak, and it's not usually the big grandstanding ones either. No. And it's not usually one person who says lots of things. It's one thing from one person, but you have to see lots of different people.
Bits that resonate with you that you think,
exactly,
that works for me.
Exactly.
Because you've got to be authentic as well. It's got to fit you, hasn't it?
Of course it has.
To use it right.
Of course it has.
We're also advocates of talking about mental health, state of mind, particularly amongst fans and particularly amongst men who are pretty rubbish at talking about feelings and what have you. Yeah. What sort of things sort of weigh on you as in the job most, and what do you do to protect your mental health and look after your mental health?
About the job or just me in general?
Both.
The thing that worries me is I'm not there for my family enough.
Yeah.
that's always on my mind. It helps when I walk my dog. My dog's been in 2-3 times last year, was it?
Yeah.
Not usually for dog sitting purposes, because my wife is sort of...
Not for training.
No, I have to say, he's not bad dribbling with a ball.
You get Cam Gardner to chase him.
Yeah, to be fair, I think the dog had tired out before Cam Gardner tired out. But it's normally just to sort of, if I bring him in, it's normally, like, say we had a game after Salford,
Yeah.
I'd have probably brought him in that week, so the lads, can see a dog and just fuss a dog, and, there's one lad that doesn't like dogs, so I've got to be careful of that.
Yeah.
But certainly my dog and dog walks help me. I think what you've got to be is certainly now more than ever. So I agree with you. Men are crap at talking about stuff like this, but they're better than they've ever been, because we do talk about it.
Yeah.
Now that don't mean to say that people actually talk about it, but it's more in the open. It's not taboo anymore.
Yeah, I think that's an important way of getting people talking.
Correct.
Which is why we're mentioning it here.
I agree.
Why we followed up with some great stuff from Brighton.
Yeah.
They've done a video with the Premier League.
Yeah.
It was fantastic stuff. I think it's just the mere mention of it makes it's okay to not be okay.
No, I agree.
And talk to your mates.
I agree. And the lads know that.
Yeah.
Will they come and talk to me? Yeah, some have. About all sorts, and it's not always the ones you think it is.
Yeah.
You think, oh yeah, he's a bit down. Yeah, usually when you see it, usually they are. But you don't check in on the lad over there who's always the same, and he's the one that's up there or down there or whatever.
As a group, do they see it in each other and pull together?
Yeah, I've had staff members come to me, players come to me, just so you know, so and so's in there, you need to have a chat with him. Okay. And we have 20 seconds, then I go and grab him. And we're going to have, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours in my office, walking around the pitch, off-site, whatever. That happens all the time.
Needs must, yeah.
But yeah, it's whatever I feel's right, but not whatever I feel right, whatever we think is appropriate for the lad.
Yeah.
And that's, again, people first. People first. If you don't do that, don't expect them to play well on Saturday. Don't expect them to be engaged in training. And the lads now know if I'm not actually at training, I'm usually busy with something else, because they are important. They are, training is the most important part of the day, and the game's the most important part of the week. If something's taken me away from that, it's usually because one of them needs me.
Yeah.
And they know that it might be them next week or week after or whatever.
Yeah.
And it happened last year.
And that's the sort of environment you want in a workplace, no mind a football club.
Of course,
and a football club is a workplace after all.
Any workplace, you want that.
Yeah.
And I think the lads know that I'll be there for them, whatever.
Would you ask?
20 years' time. I know it's a long way to go. I don't know how old you be. I'm not going to ask your age.
He's younger than me, older than me.
I don't know what the question is, but it's retired. That's your answer.
Young pops.
What would you like the players and B, the Grimsby Town fans to remember you for, and why?
I think 2 years, 10 years, 5 years, whatever, 20 years. I want the players to remember them, someone who's helped them, someone who was there for them when they needed me, when they needed me, someone who backed them, someone who helped them get better. I think that's what I try and live by. Help them get better to win. That's the thing. In terms of Grimsby, I'd like to think that over the last 2.5 years they've seen the football club develop on and off the pitch. But I think the product on the pitch has got significantly better. We were 21st, 22nd in the league when I walked in the door, and I was saying last week before to someone, I can remember taking the training session on the Monday morning out there before we played MK Dons on the Tuesday night away, and I can remember being really enthusiastic and bubbly around the players, and but actually deep down going, oh, I've got a big job to do here. Because the standard wasn't great, the tempo wasn't great. The lads were trying, by the way, so it wasn't an attitude or an application thing. But it's like, come on, we've got to set some much higher standards than what's been delivered. And I can remember the next day that we drew 1-1 at MK Dons and played some okay stuff. And I can remember the fans going, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable!" And I'm thinking, "You're not seen anything yet, fellas." You know, because this isn't it. This isn't the final destination. So I'd like to think that Grimsby fans already are saying the guys improved us. Hopefully that continues for, you know, certainly next season, and we might get a different kind of P after our name. But we're not counting our chickens or anything like that. We've got a lot of hard work to do, and that's the challenge.
I think we've seen progression, like you say, from when you come in to now. I mean, I went to, if you remember, Oxford United FA Cup.
Yeah.
After you just come in.
They scored from a corner.
Yeah.
Our corner.
Yeah, they did. Our fans that night were singing your name. I think it was David Artell, Winter Wonderland, something like that.
Yeah, there was.
December,
Yeah.
and it went on for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But even from then, and obviously we're now singing your name. I think the game's just gone from our level, from being relegation fodder when you come in, to now just missing out on playoffs a couple of seasons ago, to then last season missing out in the playoffs. If Grimsby fans can't see that that's progression in itself, then I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, look, we've got some really good foundations in place now. Some really good foundations in place for whatever happens to be successful.
I don't think the place has ever felt so together. You know, everybody pulling the same direction. I remember talking from historically back to.
I think Andrew and Jason and Polly deserve a huge amount of credit, because ultimately culture starts right at the top. And as it turns out, I'm aligned exactly how they are.
And that's why you're here.
That is why I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, because they pick me and I pick them.
Yeah.
For that exact reason. You know, values and behaviours are, when you're aligned, you achieve greater things, and things quicker, by the way.
Yeah.
And I think the fans are. I think the fans deserve a huge amount of credit. The truth is, I had to break a few eggs to make an omelette in that first 3-4 months, and I know it weren't nice. Trust me, it weren't nice for me either. No. It wasn't. But I know that's how it happens, really. I think we have. But look, we don't want to get all sentimental. We're still in Division 4 of England. That's not where this football club should be. We've got to constantly strive. Yeah, there's some foundations. That's all they are at the minute. We've now got to build on them and get even better and start to achieve some stuff.
Yeah, as I said, on the fan front, you know, it's going to be difficult to get a seat with your mates this year, which is a good thing.
Yeah, the fans deserve a huge amount of credit, and it shows that they're not stupid. They can see it, you know, and they're prepared to back it. That's an unbelievable thing, you know. From my position, I'm sure the owners are feeling exactly the same.
Yeah.
So it shows the potential of the football club. It shows the fans know exactly what they want, and they know and they see, and it's not just the young pups. You know, the older ones have obviously seen it firsthand. Turn of the century, which is a long time ago now, but at the same time, it's like, oh, actually, come on, let's get behind it, because this is what it felt like before. And we've got to now deliver as one, not just the team, not just me, fans, you know, commercial, media, the whole works. Community, women's, like they did last year. Women's won the league, youth team won the league, the disabled team had lots of success. There's a whole movement happening, and we've got to continue that.
That feeling of winning the title, for one thing, is a standard that was set for me my first season. My first ever Grimsby Town team won Division 3, as it was in 79-80. And I thought, it's always going to be like this. Wow. What a ride since then. But no, I mean, you know, the club, we've had some of the old players on, haven't we, over time.
Maybe. we've had a little waterfall on the other week. Obviously, just been named Boston.
We've even had Mike Brolly from that team that I talked about, who taught you at school, didn't he?
Yeah, did, taught me at school. Obviously played here as well, so that was just a surreal thing anyway. Yeah, we've had Nathan Arnold, we've had the shop, we've had the Rods, massive advocates for Grimsby anyway. Still, and they said they'll always come and try and watch games, and they were going to, if we did get to Wembley, unfortunately we did, but they said they were going to come along and put with some of the lads as well. So yeah, we've got a few support from even fans, but ex-players and ex-people that was to do with the club. It's a really good thing.
It says a lot about the club, doesn't it?
Yeah. With the football kit launching at some point, don't know when, in the plans, do you have anything to do with it design-wise? Did they ever come to you and say, what do you think of this?
I get to see pictures, sort of November time. This is what we're thinking. This, and this. You alright with that? Yeah. My middle names aren't Hugo and Boss, so so yeah, it's that all them decisions are a commercial decision.
We're just hoping that our black and white stripes don't look anything like Newcastle's.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I wasn't massively impressed. I have to say.
I'm not sure that. Well, you don't know. People might like the jazzy pin stripes. Looks like you've been electrocuted. No, it wasn't.
More traditional, me.
Yeah, don't try and change what's not broken, fellas. But
do you have a preference for kits? Any like colours? Do you like different kind of styles or anything? Even when you were playing, did you like? No, just put it on.
Yeah,
just crack on.
It's not about. For me, when I played, it wasn't about colour, design, anything. It was just about the shirt. Being able to wear one. Same now.
Symbolic.
That's what it is. It's symbolic. It's the pride in it. Yeah. The pride in putting it on is the symbolism of it. It's not whether it's red or yellow or blue or black and white, whatever. It's not about that. Not for me. I appreciate, for fans it is, and that's right. Yeah. For me, it's more about the symbolism. It's more about the pride in actually wearing the shirt, having the badge on your chest. It's more about that for me.
Excellent. So, and just to finish off, you've been really generous with your time today. I appreciate it on such an important day. What message do you have to sort of our viewers and listeners and GTFC fans ahead of the season?
Stick with us. I think we've passed the point now where people don't think I'm a charlatan or, you know what I mean?
Come on, Artell, sort it.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's like, I wish I bloody could, because I could still run around at that point, but I can't. It's now like, understand that it might not be linear this season. It won't be linear. Nothing's ever linear. We're not going to win the first game 1-0 and win the last game 4-6-0. It's not going to be like that. There'll be some ups and downs, but the general direction is forward and upwards, and that'll continue. It's not. I think my genuine feeling is it's not a matter of if, it's when. When might not be next year. So be patient, get right behind us, and let's see where we get to. And if we keep improving, we'll at least get to the final. That's it. That's the challenge. That's the challenge I'll be saying to the players. We've got to improve. We've got to keep getting better. And I appreciate there'll be people that say, I've heard that last week from you, you're boring so and so. And I get that. But it's also true. And if I could click my fingers and make things happen, I would. But the best laid plans are the ones that are well thought out and are well sort of planned, if you like, and they take time. Anything does.
And usually executed with hard work is always the thing that underpins it all, isn't it?
I don't think I had anyone last year say that our team didn't work hard. They work extremely hard, and if we keep working hard, we'll get us rewards eventually.
I think that's one thing Grimsby Town fans will always appreciate, however well or badly it goes, is they can see a team's working hard. Quite forgiving.
I think since I've been here, I don't think any team's not worked hard. I think they've all. That first one, Curtis Thompson,
wow.
Here we go, come on, but they're all like that. He didn't come in and gone, oh, that's the work ethic. No, he was just different, and the rest were like, but they're all working hard. Same last year, year before. So I've got no doubt in that score that we'll work extremely hard and hopefully we'll get us rewards.
David Artell, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on Three Fish on the Shirt. We really appreciate your generosity with your time and good luck for the new season.
Thank you very much. No problem.
Thank you.
Cheers.